and he was lifting. You know, he normally play Rick James or whatever was hot.
Right.
Prince. You know what I'm saying? Annie Christian. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to be an OG to remember Annie Christian,
Right.
blood. And they're Prince. If you don't know Annie Christian, you ain't never liked Prince, blood. Get out of here. But what I'm saying is, all this hip hop started coming out, and it was a mixtape, and I was like, "What is that?"
Right.
And he was like, "Oh, this is a mixtape from my friend Jesse Carr. He made it." And I just stared at that boombox, and I was like, I have to copy this. He was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. I don't care." He just doing this thing. So I got a dub. It was the Cold Crush Brothers. It was some stuff from Run DMC. It was a bunch of random hip hop from New York. And I was like, I'm doing this forever. Like,
right.
That was what my head was, straight up. Right. I don't know what am I making beef? Am I the DJ? Am I making a record label? I don't know. Am I opening a record store just to sell his music? I don't know.
Right.
But I'm involved. So right after that, my parents was like, it was, you know what? It was 83 because it was about to be my birthday. So my dad was like, "So what do you want for your birthday?" I was like, "I need a mixer and I need 2 turntables." And he was like, "Well, we have 2 turntables, but we don't have a mixer. So you want a mixer?" I was like, "Yeah, I want a mixer and a reverb." So he was like, "All right, look, you're either going to get a mixer and a reverb, but the mixer is going to be whack, or you're going to get a dope mixer, but you're not going to get a reverb." And I was like, I thought reverbs would make you sound like the Egyptian Lover. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was wrong, but I was like, I need a reverb. So I went and got the reverb, and my dad actually was a real fan of hip hop. And so he hooked up the whole setup, blood, because he already loved jazz, like big band jazz and blues and stuff. So he had a real serious system. And he was like, "All right, so I'm going to show you how to scratch." So he's like, "You take the fader," and my dad taught me how to scratch, dog. Oh. Do you hear me? Oh. My father taught me how to scratch. So he goes, "Okay, now you try it." And I'm like, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So at that time, Eddie Murphy had put out his first comedy record.
Delirious.
No, before Delirious. Before Delirious. Comedy record. He's on the cover with a rose in his hair.
Oh, yeah. I remember that joint.
Remember that record? Yeah. So in the beginning, when he first came out, it was like Eddie Murphy in the clouds. And he's like, "I know everybody wants me to hear me say buckwheat." And so I would take that and I would play like Buffalo Gals. And I'd be like, buckwheat. That was my beginning of scratching. Right. And so I became a DJ. And I mean, like, I'm not going to front on you, dog. I became a sick ass DJ, bro. When I was like by the time I was 14, I was raw. Like, not even like on my own nuts right now. I was dope. And I studied craft hard, bro. I would go anywhere for hip hop. And it's unbelievable. Like, if I told you the crazy ass house parties, niggas was getting shot, like wild shit. Nothing ever happened to me. Never got robbed. Never got ran up on. It was almost like the universe made me invisible.
Right.
On site, I should have got robbed, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have my Adidas, Kango, members only, mobbing through. No one ever. Because like I was in it, and I went to the first Fresh Fest. I went to the Raising Hell tour. I went to crazy shows, bro. Right. I went to crazy shows, house parties, clubs I shouldn't have been at, trying to get in, not being able to get in, just listening to what the DJ was playing. Like, I'll stay outside and I'll just listen then. You know?
Yeah, for me, I think I fell in love with it when I heard The Message, right? From Grandmaster Flash Furious 5. But it wasn't until I heard Eazy-E's Cruising Down the Street in my seat. When I heard that, I was like, them dudes sound and look like the dudes around the corner, which they were, because I live in
They were.
was right up the street. So it was when I heard that is when I was like, I want to do this. Right. Yeah. I think I can do this. And so by the time Tribe came out, and UMCs and blue cheese and all that type of thing. I really felt like I could do it because I was dancing and I was, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I felt like I can do it, but I didn't take it serious, man, until I got out of high school.
I think that's most people. I was taking it serious from 83, like dead ass serious from 83. And then, I mean, look, I'll just be honest, like the blessing of my life, if I had to say one thing about my life, that was a continuous blessing, is that in every situation of anything I ever entered sincerely, I met giants before the world knew them. So I told you my cousin, right? He lived in Daly City. Daly City is like not too far from where I'm at in the peninsula. It's outside of San Francisco is my point. So I went to Oceana High School, which was stereotypically by the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Right. California, we do this. And he went to a high school called Westmore. And then there was Jefferson High School. So like at Westmore, Mixmaster Mike and Apollo went. Cubert went to Jefferson, I think, with Alex Aquino, who ended up being their manager. And so I used to see Mixmaster Mike all the time. Like, like before he was what any of us know, you know what I'm saying? Before I made the second beat I ever made in my life, I made at Cubert's house.
Oh, that's dope.
You know what I'm saying? And so, and this was when Cubert was not, he had a reputation because he had equipment and stuff like that, but he wasn't the world famous DJ Cubert.
Right. You know
what I'm saying? So like I was around the dopest fucking DJs. But by that time I had left DJing and I moved to MCing. And so I had a crew and we were a dope crew. Like I said, we opened up for Gangstar and Organized in their prime.
Right.
Talking about Step Into the Arena is out and we're on the bill. You know what I'm talking about? Brand Nubian and Onyx, you know what I'm saying? In their prime. We're opening. We was known. We was doing our thing. But then the dude that I rap with, he stabbed a dude for robbing his mom. He had to do a bid. And we were finishing our demo at the time. So we took him off those tracks. I got Dell, Boots, A+, and Pep Love to get on to replace him. Replace his verses, but by the time we were done with all that, I was just exhausted and I didn't want to rap no more. So none of that shit ever came out.
Yeah, I get it. I think coming up in a certain era, those things happen, right? Like I grew up with Razzcast, right? Same neighborhood, right? And when I knew him, he was dancing, right? And so, I met Bishop Lamont before he was just Philip. You know what I'm saying? Right. So he was still in high school trying to get on, right? And so I met Game when he was just Jason playing basketball, right? And so all these dudes became giants. I think when I met Dilated, they were just kind of on the bubble, right? And so part of that 98, 99 class of underground talent that came out, some Design Eyes, rest in peace to my man, right? And those guys, I came out of the era where it was just things were different. Radio stations were playing hip hop. College radio was big. The hip hop journalists were big. You had the magazines and the periodicals that were dope. And so that was one of those times. And it's like Haley's Comet, man. It's because of the way the times are now. Those times seem like we should have put them in a time capsule and recorded all that stuff so we can go back and review the footage and see the thing that we created. You know what I'm saying? And those memories, gold, bro.
Absolutely crazy, And so I think though, there's still a lot of beautiful, intelligent artists out now, coming out and things like that. I think the problem is there's not enough of us that do understand the culture, engaging them where they are, right? So like I feel like too many of the people, or at least I want to say the people, I'll say in the Bay Area, what I find is that too many people who complain about the youngsters, they just don't teach them. They don't engage them. They want to sit around, stick their Kangos and fat laces on and talk about what these kids is. Okay, but then how come you don't talk to them? Right. How come you don't teach? How come you don't mentor them? How come you don't, you know what I mean? So if I don't like the hip hop that's out now, I have to blame myself. Right. I have to blame my generation because we didn't do better by them. One time I was talking, I was talking with Paradise from X Clan a couple years ago. He said the realest thing I ever heard about the generation gap. I was like, yeah, man, a lot of these OGs, they don't like it. And they say that it's not real hip hop. I was on a BART train. Like, I literally remember where I was on the BART train. I was like, we had just left Montgomery, at the Montgomery station. I was on the phone with him. He goes, you know how I know it's real hip hop? I said, how? He said, because we hate it. He said, the fact that we hate it shows that it's real. He goes, because those kids are talking about their reality right now. And we were talking about ours. Right. And their reality isn't our reality. I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I always remember that.
That was a bar. And like, I remember when I was starting to really get into hip hop, I remember listening to Slick Rick and my aunt, who graduated high school the year I was born. So she heard "It's All Because of You" and was like, oh, that's Candy Terrell. That's disrespectful. And she hated hip hop, right?
Yeah.
She was more Shalimar than she was Big Daddy Kane, right? So, like, they hated it. So when I look at some of this stuff now, I'm like, yo, I cannot with the cadence. But there's a few gems in there, man, like Corday and J. Cole and, you know, they got some.
First of all, J. Cole, the track he just did with Benny the Butcher.
Crazy.
Listen. That's one of the coldest 16s I've heard in a decade.
In a cool
minute. I mean, it's out of control. And Benny the Butcher does great. That's not even, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even trying to undercut. But what I am going to say is that J. Cole, that man came through and slammed it like, yeah.
Right.
It was crazy, right? So there's J. Cole, there's Benny the Butcher, but there's other people that I like. I like this dude named A Boogie with the Hoodie. I like in the Bay, I don't know if he's big down there, but there's a youngster named EBK Jabo, who's from like Stockton or something. Mm-hmm. Youngsters love him. I'm not a hater, but I'm also not a fan. I mean, he's just like whatever, but he's huge. But I do like A Boogie with the Hoodie. I do like Roddy Ricch.
Yeah, I can deal with Roddy Ricch. I can deal with some. Yeah. I can deal with some songs from here and there from cats. I really like RJ Payne is like, he's like my guy. Like RJ Payne got bars. Like he wasn't supposed
I don't know him.
Cat from he's out of Philly, I believe.
Oh, really?
You get a chance to check him out, man. He got crazy bars. His metaphor game is strong.
And then there was another cat who I actually kind of I'm probably gonna. The kids are gonna smash me when I see him. I think it's PNB Rock from Philly. He's dope.
Okay, yeah.
I like him. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I actually, you know what? I'll just take body shots and headshots all day. I like Cardi B. I'm gonna tell you why I like Cardi B. There's a track she has, the opening of that first album. I think it's called Get Up 10. Yo, Get Up 10 is hard, right? Sometimes when a rapper is very pop, I don't care if they're actually dope and they're telling me I'm doing this for the cash, but I'm actually good. Get Up 10 is her version of that moment. Yeah. When you listen to Get Up 10, he's talking about how she got where she's at. And the song starts out with almost like no drums, where it's just like strings and she's rapping. But when the beat comes in, it's actually, and I think not many people get it because the generations are so separated.
Right.
But it's like a remake of the Ghostface beat for Run. You know that beat, bro. Cardi B
can't lose with that beat.
She killed it. I mean, she killed it. And so, like, you know, I'll say the same about who's the dude that did Funky? Cole Medina, right? I thought he was trash when I heard that song. I didn't like Tone Loc, but then somebody I knew had the album, and I was like, "You got Tone Loc's fucking album? He's fucking weak." And they were like, no, listen to this song. And all I remember, I don't remember the name of the song, but he starts, it's a Barry White beat. Right. And he comes and he goes, it goes Rama-Lama Ding Dong. And he goes in and he busts pure bars. And at that point, I was like, oh, he's dope. He's just trying to get paid. I'm not mad. You know what I'm saying? Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Hey, before I forget, just before you ask the next question, I'll tell you one of the lines that she said that made me laugh Cardi B said, just because I'm on the road don't mean that I'm on the run. So you're going